When you teach your students about past tense verbs, you can start with an awareness exercise like the one you just did, so students will hear how the ed suffix can be pronounced 3 different ways. Students need to learn how to pronounce the ed suffix and identify it in speech, and of course they also need to be able to explain its meaning. Until they can do these things, they will probably not write the suffix correctly or notice it in printed words. Plan and structure practice exercises in which students must identify this suffix in spoken words. Have them listen for the final sound in these words and sort them by their final sound. Watch how a 2nd grade teacher teaches her students about the concepts you just discovered. First, they review the past tense suffix ed and learn that it can make the sound t, d, or id at the end of a word.
Okay, what do you notice about all of these words?
They end with ed.
They end with ed. What does that tell me if I'm a reader?
It could be duh. It could be duh, or t. Wait, the ed can make different sounds. So.
It can. What is this word?
Kissed. And
What?
there's like a t at the end.
Is it t? I like the way you changed that. Okay. T.
Not t.
So do you hear ed make the eh? Because I see an e and a d, and I know e says eh and d says d. But do you hear that?
No. Kissed. I can't even say that right.
No. When we say kissed, it's which sound? T. So I'm going to. Sorry, I'm trying to write upside down here. I'm going to put that in virgules. Those mean that this is the sound, t, not the letter T, because that would be silly, right? If I wrote a T at the end of this word, would my reader know I meant it happened in the past?
No. They would think it's part of the word.
Yeah, it'd be confusing, wouldn't it?
They'd be like,
Okay, so
question mark.
let's keep going. What is this word?
Rubbed.
What do you see there? You can read. I was a word you couldn't see it.
Rubbed.
Rubbed. Okay, what's the base word?
Rub.
Very good. Okay, what sound do you hear ed make?
Duh. It's a
Does it say d or d?
rubbed. Like I said, your letters are d. I think a j and a d.
You think there's going to be a d?
If you
We'll see
notice,
if you change your
they
thinking.
double the B because if they put one B, the vowel would be long.
That's very good. That's exactly why they did that to that base word. I like that you knew that. Okay.
I'm trying to think of one that we haven't done. Or like
Do you think
that
there's
has a
another
new
sound
one.
we haven't discovered yet? Well, just grab one and we'll see if we come.
Added.
Okay. So, can you tap those?
D.
Do you hear a d or a t at the end? That got strange, didn't it?
Yeah, I
Add.
forgot to add
Add.
ed.
Added.
They
Is
can
it-
also say
it's-
ed.
Is it ed or is it id?
Id,
Listen to
id.
that. Added.
It's it.
It's id, kind of like almost with like an I, right? Is how we would hear it, like how we would describe that sound. Okay.
So yeah, like there's some strange sounds, I should say. That one's this one's like one of the stranger ones.
Okay.
The teacher had her students sort the words by their final sound. Now they're ready to discover why the sound of the ed ending changes and how to know which way to pronounce it.
So, you've sorted them.
31.
And I figured that you could sort them. I knew you could do it. But I want you to look and see if you can discover how I know which sound. What do you notice about the words? We can start with this one, okay? What do you notice about these words where this ed says t? Let's look at base words. What's the base word?
Kiss.
Kiss. Okay, s. Put your hand right here. Is that voiced or unvoiced?
Unvoiced. I
Okay.
think
Maybe
that
that's
they all start with a consonant.
in this case they do, but I'm not sure if that's our rule. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. What's the base word of this word?
Jump.
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 What does it end with?
P.
Wait, they're all unvoiced on the end, maybe.
Maybe. That's a good prediction. Should we try it and see if it works? Okay.
Hop.
What is this word?
Hope.
Hope. Well, I want to know the base word.
Hope.
Is it unvoiced? Okay.
Mop. Unvoiced.
Okay. What's the base word of mopped?
Mop.
Mop. Is it unvoiced?
Unvoiced.
Unvoiced.
These are
Unvoiced.
all unvoiced. I was right.
Okay. We'll see if it works. So, is your prediction that the next one is going to have voiced or unvoiced sounds?
Voiced. Voiced. I think it's voiced.
Well, okay. What's the base word?
Rub.
Voiced.
Okay.
Tickle.
Sit on your bottom.
Tickle. That's voiced.
Tickle. So, was it true?
Yeah.
So we have base words that are
Unvoiced.
and base words that are.
Voiced.
But this is the tricky one. I think these are.
It's voiced.
I think.
It's voiced. I think they're voiced.
Keep talking.
No, there's actually this one is unvoiced.
Spot. It's unvoiced.
Really? This word, the base word is add, and that's voiced.
But spot.
So this one has an unvoiced and this one has voiced. Keep thinking. Okay, what's the last sound in this base word? No, in the base word. What's the base word?
Add.
What's the last sound in add? Okay, d. Okay, what's this base word?
Round.
Round. What's the last sound?
D.
That's a letter. What's the sound? Okay. All right. What is this base word?
Spot.
Yeah, the base word of spotted is spot. And what does spot, what sound does it end with? So we have all of these either end in, and I will tell you this is going to stand true. These all end in, the base words end in d, or the base words end in t. What are these two sounds?
D.
T, d. So,
I'm starting to get something.
okay, tell us about it.
Two letters means could be. I thought two letters would make like one unvoiced and one unvoiced. I thought that.
One voiced and
Yes.
one unvoiced.
That's what I thought. Two letters could do that. I just
Okay.
thought.
I love that you're thinking about the voicing because you're right. That has a lot to do with how we pronounce these words. But I want to pretend that this word spotted, if we tried to make it sound like t at the end, I want to say spotted.
Spot.
Does that sound right at all? Is that kind of even hard to say? Okay, so let's try to make that one sound like this. Spotted.
Did it.
Spotted. Spotted.
But I can't even.
I mean, neither. So if we tried this one,
That's the slow motion.
added.
Added. Almost sounds like
Added.
That one's a little bit easier.
A little bit, but not much, is it? But say it with this id at the end.
added.
Added. So, do you know what the rule is? We have the t sound if the base word ends with an unvoiced sound, and we use d if it ends
Wait,
if
I
the
just
base
came
word
up with
if the
one.
base word ends with a voiced sound, we use d. And if the base word ends with either t or d, we use id. Id. Do we ever write t?
No.
Do we ever write d?
No.
Do we ever write id?
No.
No, when we write these so that our readers know we meant that something happened in the past, we use the ending
Like you talked.
ed.